Today is February 22nd, 2013. It's the anniversary of the birth of George Washington, our first and unequivocally the most formidable president this country ever had or ever will have. There was nobody in comparison to him. I recently was reviewing an email from somebody that had had some small interactions with John Fitzgerald Kennedy and declared him the greatest president of all time. But what happens is sometimes you meet people and that leads your mind into a state of complete delusion. There was nothing comparable to a mafia instituted presidential control at the time of Kennedy and the enormous legendary battle backgrounds prior to the American Revolution and successful movement of intellect of this man through time to become the commander-in-chief of the American Revolution, as well as the formulation of this country through the 1780s and 1790s when he gracefully finished his second term as President of the United States. Not many of you in this country anymore know the history of the President Washington, principally because you're presidentially directed today through somebody whose name I won't mention but begins with the word O, the letter O, who is more driving you to a welfare status in many and sundry ways as you're being plundered by the same parties that you fought during the American Revolution and their confluence of allies, which are very similar in that time frame as to this day and age. Now, I did make a declaration on February 18th, 2013, as I had done considerable amount of assessment of the Christopher Dorner actions and interactions, which were unequivocally beyond your mentally able to review and comprehend circumstances and situations. Only one man has that formidable intellect, myself. So I was reflecting earlier today when I was up for assassination, notified by the son of an admiral on February 2nd, 2001, where they feel that I would be able to topple the so-called founders of America, or maybe the fondlers of America today, from the generalization and generation movements in time. Regrettably, I can see exactly why he was concerned. Because number one, I wouldn't sell out the country. The country people have sold me out to a great extent. You became a little bit confused with going to the beach and getting a nice colored tan and having a colored man run you in the ground. So that's really been the situation here. He is, of course, a prop of slop that controls the media and movements of this country in a military pathos, which makes it difficult to do things. Most of you never heard of me, principally because, number one, you didn't elect to nominate yourselves to move in a direction with me, and secondly, when I go to try to employ somebody to do the filming, it's usually they want to control editing what I may say to delete from reality what is reality. Secondly, they'll want to steal my intellectual capabilities for their own nominal interests, or to what shall I say, to offset the significance of what I can and will do. I will now go back and discuss this Dorner report with you. It's very explosive. It's mega light years beyond what you've interpreted as the events. When I break things down, I break them down not only to the interaction, the people, the seconds, the minutes, the hours. I didn't do that much on this, but I have in previous websites that I constructed, like the Pentagon New York Yankees. In 2002, Tiger Woods and his phenomenal rise, and how it really was interpolated through my own personal life, which is to this day 100% accurate, except I'm not running around raping all the chicks like this guy has done. And many other things along those directional curves. So, I will bring up some, I guess some of what is in the content of this apple here to more review my previous efforts at revelations than I will the specific revelations on Dorner. I won't let this slip much longer than it is now, because it's only 10 days since he was committed suicide as his body was starting to roast in that house in Big Bear Lake area. And there are significant reasons why he was there, the interaction and difficulties with the police that are brought out, or let's say embellished, to such a level of mind-bending, unparalleled comprehension by me. And it also involves the direction and insurrection that the United States is in a very difficult, prosaic, of significant direction at this time. Sometimes I mix my words differently. I don't use teleprompters. I may not be using my usual grammatical skills, because a lot goes into what I do beyond just trying to extrapolate numbers. That's not for me. I look at those numbers and they tell me many, many things. They tell me who's guilty, who's not guilty, why you did what you did. So enough if somebody really wants to get on a jury, because I just feel I want to be removed from judging you as people. Anyway, let's see what we're going to do today, and I will continue this momentarily a little bit later with the camera faced away from me and more at the topic, and I'll communicate, and I may even walk up to that specific viewage that you'll be seeing through the projector.